Hello, thank you for joining me today. My name is Alwynne, and today I will be presenting about what's next for Share It, following on from the details shared by Stephen in the previous talk. So our strategic goals for Share It at present are number one, to make Share It and sustainability impact reporting more accessible to food sharers. So at present, we've realised that quite a lot of the food sharers that are using the Share It tool have struggled to deliver a report autonomously and have required additional external support from us. So we want to explore ways to make the Share It tool more accessible to all types of food sharers, especially those that might be struggling with limited resources and capacity to do any additional paperwork and reporting. A second strategic goal of ours is to make sustainability reporting accessible and normalised among the food sharing community, and to make it an option for all food sharers to be able to engage in measuring their positive economic, social and environmental impacts and reporting on those regularly. And finally, we also have a strategic goal of creating policies and funding that maximise the impacts of food sharing initiatives. And it is our hope that these policies and fundings will be influenced by the sustainability impact reporting that is normalised among food sharers by being accessible and affordable to food sharers. Our interim goals towards these strategic goals are to connect with as many food sharers as possible, that's people who eat, grow and redistribute food, to support them in producing their output reports, their sustainability impact assessments, using the Share It tool. We would then like to bring these reports to different funding groups and policymakers and discuss with them how these reports can be most applicable and useful for policy making and funding opportunities. And then bring all of this learning and feedback from food sharers, policymakers and funders to the Share It tool to invest in upgrading the Share It tool and then bringing it back to the food sharers in hopefully a even more impactful, effective and accessible format. Some of the user experience upgrades we would like to do include developing bespoke pathways. At present, when a food sharer signs up to use the Share It tool, in the goal of the Share It tool being quite flexible, we offer them a very wide range of questions. These questions are relevant to growing food, eating food, or redistributing food. A consequence of this flexibility is that if, for example, a community grower attempts to develop a sustainability impact report using the Share It tool, they will also have to filter through lots of questions that might not be relevant to them about distributing food and eating food together. So they have to develop their sustainability impact report by only selecting the questions that is relevant to them, which makes it more work for them to do. So we would love to develop bespoke pathways and refine our Share It tool so that community growers, for example, would have a specific set of questions for them, communities that eat food together would have specific questions for them, and communities that redistribute food will also have their own specific pathway. This will reduce the amount of questions available to them and hopefully make the process more streamlined and less work for the food sharers. Another upgrade for the users we would like to provide is better support for them, as we got a lot of feedback from food sharers that they are under plenty of time pressure and financial pressure and do not necessarily have the resources available to do more reporting and more paperwork and more data efforts. So we would like to address this by providing a lot more support, especially for smaller food sharing groups that might not have the capacity to engage with sustainability impact assessments. And the final user experience upgrade we would like to deliver is to translate the Share It tool into multiple languages so it can be used by a broader diversity of food sharing groups. There are also several technical upgrades we would like to make to the Share It tool. We would like there to be more editing flexibility. At present, when you generate a sustainability impact report from Share It, you can't go back and edit that report. So if a food sharer does notice that they'd like to fix a typo in their report or add in something they forgot to include, unfortunately, once the report is created, they can't go back and do that. So we would like to make that more flexible so that they can go back and tweak their existing report instead of having to produce a new report once they've completed the exercise. We would also love to improve our report design. Our report produces a series of infographics that we'd love food sharers to share on their social media to communicate the great impact they are having. And we'd like to review these infographics and see how we might improve them for better shareability. And finally, we'd like to launch our greenhouse feature, which is a feature that connects food sharers with other food sharers so that they can share knowledge and expertise and learning from setting up similar initiatives in different contexts. So in the interim, unfortunately, a lot of these user experience and technical upgrades are not available to us at the present funding status, but we are going to take steps to improve the user experience while awaiting more funding. So one thing we're going to provide is one-to-one virtual support where food sharers can video call myself and be talked through the entire process of how to create a report. We also are producing new video tutorials that food sharers can use to navigate the Share It tool, and we're reviewing and updating all of our reading materials and user guides. Our next steps then are to create firstly a contact database with as many food sharers, policymakers and funders that we can find. We would then like to invite the food sharers to come and use the Share It tool and produce their own sustainability impact assessments and offer them various levels of one-to-one support along the way to ensure that the sustainability impact assessments are accessible to them. We then would like to gather feedback from food sharers, policymakers and funders about the experience of using the Share It tool and the practical applications of the outcome reports. And finally, we'd like to compile and consolidate all of this feedback that we've gathered and plan the future of Share It. The output of this exercise will be a full and detailed report that will assess the overall functionality of Share It, the costs of different types of user support, whether that involves extensive one-to-one video calls or extensive email support, or simply the use of high-quality user video tutorials and user guides. We also will want a detailed report on the usability of the tool, which we hope will have input from over 50 food sharers, and a full report on the usability of the actual sustainability impact assessment reports, for which we hope to have insight provided by over 50 policymakers and funders. With this evidence report, we hope to inform a proof of concept application to get further funding to upgrade the Share It tool. This will include a detailed business plan, a timeline to market, and an updated engagement strategy. And with this proof of concept, we hope to upgrade the Share It tool and develop a sustainable social enterprise structure that will allow the Share It tool to continue empowering and equipping food sharers and continue informing policymakers and funding opportunities well past the end date of the current research project. So that brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you for your attention. I'd like to close with an invitation to yourselves. Share It was created through collaboration and input from stakeholders just like you. If you have any contacts in your network that could test out the usability of Share It, or could look at the Share It reports through the lens of a potential funder or someone who writes policy, for example, I would be delighted to hear from you and get those contact details in your network. So please do drop me an email at amcgeever@tcd.ie. Thank you.